Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Being passive, being too nice, isn't a good thing. If you lay down, if you assume the fetal position, people will walk over you. And that applies in the world of politics as well. And that's not to endorse extremism of any kind or to promote any type of violence. We are 100% adamantly against all of that. Of course, you guys already know that, but it must be said regardless. But the point that I'm trying to make, the point that I've been trying to make that I really want to hammer home, is that it's time to play the game. For too long, Democrats have been operating with different rules. They're willing to venture in extreme hyperbole, even to the extent of defamation and slander, in order to make noise and mobilize political movement. Republicans, conservatives aren't. Conservatives play by the rules. They play nice. Excuse me, ma'am, but I believe what you are accusing me of is incorrect. Meanwhile, leftoids are screeching and screaming. This person is a threat to democracy. He's racist, a fascist, coming after your rights. They're going to take this away. They're going to do that. Excuse me, ma'am, can you please stop lying about me? You're not going to win. We may look at the leftoids and say, man, these people are crazy and the stuff that they're saying is crazy. But at the end of the day, their voices are being heard. They're making noise. And conservative voices aren't, because conservatives are not playing the same game. And if you don't play the game, if you don't compete, then very simply, you lose. And maybe that's why Donald Trump has been successful in his career. And that's certainly why Ron DeSantis is successful, because they're willing to fight back. They're willing to hit back and hit back hard. They're willing to make noise and wake voters up, making them understand the severity of the situation, because clearly a lot is at stake. And if Republicans don't wake up and realize that it's basically life and death, well, then problems are likely to follow. I have this wacko clip from CNN's morning show that I want to show you guys, and I want to use it to make a greater point. Let me show you guys exactly what leftoids are saying. We've got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so let's create contrast. What is the RNC doing? Biden is spending too much money, inflation, gas prices. Meanwhile, Democrats are taking the political battle so seriously, it's like World War II to them.
The question is, where are we when it comes to our nation, our democracy? You're a historian, can we look back on a time that gives us hope that we got through that was similar to this, Doris?
Oh, we've always gotten through tough times. I mean, I think that's what that's why I love history so much. I mean, just think about what people who were living through the Civil War felt, what people who were living through the Great Depression felt, what people felt in those early days of World War II, when it didn't look like the Allies and democracy was going to win. And they didn't know what we know now. They didn't know how the story would end. So they lived with the anxiety we're coming through now. But we came through each one of those times with greater strength. And I think there may have been a moment, what we saw in the midterms, where people were voting what they knew was wrong, what they knew was right.
And they truly believe this. Some of them do, at least. Others are just playing the game. It's fear-mongering. It's extreme. It's a little crazy. But you know what? To a certain extent, I'm starting to think that it works. And I'm also starting to think to myself, leftoids are doing this stuff disingenuously. Meanwhile, the right has an actual genuine argument and the ability to really start ramping up the rhetoric. I mean, it's a battle. The left talks a big game about being anti-fascist and how the other side is fascistic and coming after your basic rights. Well, hey, we know the left to have truly authoritarian tendencies. We saw what happened during 2020 and 2021. We know how they are with free speech, cancel culture, mob rule, just how divisive and destructive they are. They are truly fascistic, yet nobody says it. Nobody hits the fascist left. They're playing the game, and conservatives aren't. Conservatives aren't taking advantage of all the abuse of power, the abuse of the DOJ, the FBI, federal agencies. The document and text message leak from 2 weeks ago suggesting that the FBI is influencing social media companies to censor information on behalf of the current Democrat regime. The fact that they took away your rights for 2 years straight, they destroyed people's businesses and livelihoods, they set children back 2 years straight, it seems like the GOP just conveniently forgot about it. Or they mention it as a little talking point, but they don't hit hard like Ron DeSantis does. And that's why Ron DeSantis is more successful, because he understands the gravity and the seriousness surrounding these issues and what he's fighting. He labels it as evil, and he doesn't say, a Democrat overreach and abuse of power is bad. bad, okay? No. He says, this will never happen in Florida. It will never happen in Florida. We are a bastion of freedom. We will stop it. We will spike it down. It will never happen under my watch. That's what he says. He takes it to that next level. He makes it emotional. He makes people understand just how serious it is. With the indoctrination of children, here's another issue with the indoctrination of children. Republicans are sweeping school board elections across the board. It's a winning issue. Parents care about it. But you have to make parents understand that it's not a game, that this woke indoctrination is going to harm your children. I mean, Democrats are running on platforms of mutilation. I'm going to purposely be vague and I'll just leave it at that. We're talking about really, really serious, heinous stuff here. We're talking about pushing totally altering, life-damaging procedures and influence on children, on young children, on your young children. And yet the GOP is too scared to expose it, to make it an issue, to get involved in that cultural battle and take a strong stance and say, with us, it ends. It will never happen under our watch. A clear mandate. And on the same issue of crime, and this is where I think Dr. Oz's campaign fell short significantly. I mean, look at Lee Zeldin, for instance. He was a hawk on the issue of crime. He was saying, day one, we're going to declare an emergency, we're going to do something. Philadelphia is one of the most dangerous cities. There's a serious crime epidemic in Philadelphia. Fetterman was running on a campaign of releasing 1/3 of the inmate population, releasing violent felons, and he had done so. Where was Dr. Oz hammering this issue? The guy was soft and he was putting out these milquetoast, grade school style campaign ads instead of looking at the voters and saying, this guy is a nutcase. My opponent has lost the plot. We are going to stand up for you. We're going to do the right thing and we're going to clean up these streets. In certain areas in Philadelphia, it looks like a damn third world country. And Dr. Oz didn't know how to package a strong political message that got people serious about the issues and make people say to themselves, you know, this man is the man for the job. And that's the problem over and over again. Democrats look at voters and say, you're under threat. Society is going to collapse. It's going to be nuclear war if Donald Trump gets elected. You're going to lose your rights. They're going to come after contraception. They're going to do this. They're going to do that. We're going to stand in front of them. We're going to stop them, is what they tell you. Maybe all lies and propaganda and misinformation, but at least it's a political message and at least they stand for something. The GOP doesn't seem to stand for anything. I mean, with everything that's gone on for the last couple of years, with voters angry, 70% of voters in exit polls said that they were either dissatisfied or angry at the current state of the country. People are legitimately angry. And the idea that you're going to tap into that anger, that frustration with a soft, neutral, monotone tone, you might be right. You might be pushing the right ideas. But if you don't match the energy, if you don't come out swinging, we are going to do this. Head to the polls. We're going to get the job done because enough is enough. If you don't speak like that, if you don't have that passion and that energy to get people motivated, if you run the campaign a la Mitt Romney, you're going to get Mitt Romney results. And we all know how that went in his matchup against Barack Obama. So many things after this 2022 election are starting to be crystal clear for me. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right on the money, but this is how I feel. And honestly, I tend to be a glass half full kind of guy, eternally optimistic. I'm going to look at this 2022 lackluster election and get the positive from it and say, what is the step forward? What's the next move? This is what I'm thinking. It's time to get serious. The Democrats have been serious. Republicans haven't, at least outside of Ron DeSantis and Donald Trump, and of course Kari Lake, some other figures as well, but of course those are really the political superstars, the firebrands, the people with charisma, the people who are hitting hard, and it's no wonder they gain so much momentum as political brands. It's time to mobilize people. It's time to get people enthused, and the only way you do that is not with empty suit Jeb Bush politics. It's with a hard-hitting message that gets people excited. It's time to match the Democrat energy. But of course, that's just my opinion. That's what I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe to the channel. I'm gonna get out of here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.